feel like we have this conversation way too often. Who is the strongest Buu, Kid Buu or Buuhan? This is going to be a very fun one. I'm not excited for this at all. This age-old question was truly surrounded in nothing more than misinformation and quote-unquote biasness. Now, depending on who's arguing it and depending on who's truly bringing information, the battle can go either way. But it's me talking about the topic, and obviously I'm going to give you the full truth, so let's get into it. Now, I want to start off with something that's very simple to get through and not going to take as much time. So let's start off with the anime continuity before we get into anything else. Now, the anime is a one-sided uphill battle for the Buuhan character simply because of the fact of how the anime portrays this narrative of Kid Buu being the stronger of the two, very simply and very clear. To kick things off, I want to first start off by talking about Dragon Ball Z episode 273. The episode titled Innards of Buu kind of proved my point and starts the narrative of Kid Buu being the stronger of the two. Now, in this episode, I only really want to talk about two things specifically. The first thing is the fact that Goku is able to fight Mystic or Ultimate Gohan with little to no difficulty. And the reason I say little to no difficulty is because of the fact of how he fights him and one-shots him in Super Saiyan 1. Now, the anime and Daizenshuu pretty much confirms the idea that these copies are at the same level as their original counterparts. Now, for those who are trying to rat and say, well, this could basically be base Gohan, not Ultimate Gohan. Yeah, you're ratting. It's basically stated and confirmed by Old Kai that these counterparts are imagined and fathomed up by Buu's memory. So these are at the same power in which Buu remembers, and Buu has never seen original powered Gohan. Well, in terms of mystic context, Gohan has never used his base power in that outfit ever. He's never shown Buu his base strength in that outfit. So again, for people to say this is just base Gohan, it's purely ratting. Now, why do I say this? Why do I mention this? Well, it's because of the fact of how I wanted to demystify the idea that Goku is not the strongest unfused fighter in the Buu saga. That is hands down given to Goku. Goku is the strongest unfused fighter in the Buu saga. And that's important because the strongest unfused fighter in the Buu saga openly states and claims that Kid Buu is way stronger than any of the Buus before him. Well, after him, but you get the point. And keep in mind, this is Kid Buu at his weakest. Kid Buu grows in strength not once, but twice. One of the reasons for that is because he wants to prolong the fight so that way he can get more out of it and enjoy it. And the next reason, which is kind of shocking that people skip over this, it's the fact that he's literally weakened. During a squabble with Super Saiyan 2 Goku, he actively has Fat Buu inside of him, and that is actively weakening him. So when the South Kai was absorbed by Kid Buu gained a heart, and in that he lost power. Now, fans love to grip onto that word somewhat, and that really doesn't prove their point because of the fact of how somewhat just means moderate or to a limited extent. The only source to truly say somewhat is the Daizenshuu. In the actual manga, Kibito Kai openly says that he just reduced his power. It doesn't really go over the extent, but we do know it has to be substantial to some degree due to the fact of how in the next statement he openly says that this Buu is pure evil incarnate, meaning the one before was like child's play compared to this. Now, after this, Goku powers up into Super Saiyan 3, and this is kind of funny because people don't pay attention to this when they see it. But in response to Goku powering up, Kid Buu then spits out Fat Buu and gains more power. This is even more evident when he's able to go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan 3 Goku with no effort at all. Now, obviously, people are going to stick with the narrative of, Kid Buu could just easily be letting up on power. Well, no, that's just not true. Goku still makes the statement of Kid Buu prolonging the fight and making it last longer to just have fun. That's openly said when Goku's at Super Saiyan 3. I think this claim that I'm about to make next is very fair. I don't think Kid Buu truly tries in the fight until the Universal Spirit Bomb comes into play. And we know this because we literally see him actively make an attempt to resist the Spirit Bomb. And it works. Even when Goku gets fully revitalized and has all of his power and stored in his base again, it still takes him transforming into Super Saiyan 1 to get that edge over on Kid Buu. So yeah, I think Kid Buu in the anime is pretty solidified. Let's move over to the manga. So the manga version of things is very anti-Kid Buu in the fans' eyes, and in my eyes, it's definitely not that way. The first thing that fans love to make note of is the fact that Buuhan, well really, Buu-Tanks, makes the statement of him being the strongest Majin. Now, there are many issues with this statement, the first of which being this can literally just be coming from pure Saiyan arrogance. Now we know the Saiyans are inherently arrogant people, and this gets amplified when they get newfound power. And seeing as how Super Buu absorbed the most arrogant Saiyan in the history of Saiyans, the amalgamation of two children, yeah, I think it's safe to say this statement is very questionable. No, there's literally a full chapter of Dragon Ball dedicated to Gotenks' arrogance, and then the chapter following that is detailing the over-arrogance of Gotenks. I also don't even want to talk about when Buuhan makes the statement, because we know that Gohan, when he gets new power, is inherently arrogant, and seeing as how Buuhan just received new power, arrogant statements are definitely gonna follow. Now, here's where we get deep into our argumentative bag, and let's start talking about memory. And this is actually gonna feed into another argument. When Goku and Vegeta are inside of Buu's innards and they're ripping out people from his subconscious and essentially taking away these absorptions, Buu is showing fear of going back into Kid Buu's state. Now, here's my problem with that. I don't think Super Buu shows a significant, I don't think he shows any kind of memory of Kid Buu in the slightest. Reason being for it is, first of all, the process between Kid Buu to Fat Buu is completely different from Fat Buu to Super Buu. In the Kid Buu to Fat Buu process, Kid Buu absorbed the leader of the Kaio's and essentially gained a heart and lost power. On top of that, his entire personality changed and he became a different person. His focus, his drive, his memory, his determination, his personality, all of it shifted and changed. But the process from Fat Buu to Super Buu is vastly different. Now, the process from Fat Buu to Super Buu revolves around Majin Buu releasing all of his negative emotions and evil into the air, basically doing spirit fission, and then that evil manifests itself. That evil then beats the hell out of Fat Buu, eats him, absorbs him, and then becomes Super Buu. Now notice how that evil Buu is not Kid Buu. Notice that. And also notice how that evil Buu does not actually become a different person, because he never absorbed a different person. Buu absorbed Buu. And that's why I say these processes are different. To turn into Fat Buu, Kid Buu had to absorb a completely different entity. In order to become Super Buu, Evil Buu just had to absorb himself. That's why you see Super Buu demonstrate memory of Fat Buu and memory of Gohan, but you never see him demonstrate memory of Kid Buu. Another argument that fans love to make is with Goku himself, and it's the fact that Goku couldn't beat Buuhan or Super Buu, yet he was fully confident in himself and not needing fusion in order to go up against Kid Buu. And like always, the fans reached with this one. First off, Goku's fear of Buuhan and his confidence levels is purely dependent on what he was being told by Kibito Kai and by Old Kai. Imagine having a supreme being, someone who's actively gone up against this threat before in the past and is pretty much tasked with overseeing the entirety of the universe. Imagine a supreme being like that telling you that you cannot single-handedly defeat this threat and you need to fuse in order to be able to defeat this threat. That is gonna shake up your confidence and it's gonna change how you think. Goku was not operating on his own thinking, he was literally listening to other people and being influenced. Now let's kick it back to when he was trying to go up against Kid Buu on his own. Do people forget the fact that Goku explains why he had this confidence in going up against Kid Buu on his own? He openly made a promise with Vegeta to never fuse again, and also on top of that, he made a promise to grow on his own along with Vegeta. More on that, even when Goku's fighting Kid Buu actively during the manga fight, he says that he could have used fusion and probably should have done it. So yes, Goku got confident and arrogant. And also, if you think Goku didn't grow throughout the Buu saga, you're an idiot. Come on now, grow up. But yeah, other than these main arguments, I really don't know any other avenues for Buuhan arguments. Yeah, I think that's really it. That's all there really is for the manga. Now, I'm going to end the video with a few outside miscellaneous statements, such as data books, guidebooks, fan books, you know the deal. And yeah, Kid Buu just has an overwhelming amount of statements from data books and guides openly confirming that he is the strongest Buu. I mean, I don't want to bring up the Toriyama statement of him making the villains the most powerful purposely smaller, or the Dragon Book statement, the multiple Daizenshuu statements confirming Kid Buu and Goku to be the strongest by the end of the Buu arc. But yeah, it's pretty stacked over there. That's all there is for today. I'll see you on the next video. Be good people, I'm out. Peace.